Hi y'all. Starting life over in your 40s isn't easy, especially when it's been filled with pain, lessons, and hard resets. But here I am rebuilding, healing, and growing into the woman I knew I was meant to be. If you have ever felt like it's too late to change your life, this channel is for you. So come with me. We're doing it together. Hi, it's me, Taylor Michelle, here for ya. It's a big day. Come with me and get ready with me to go to my son's graduation in LA from high school. So I'm gonna get ready and then like pack and stuff, and I thought, maybe you'd want to chit chat with me. I need some oil for my face. So for all of y'all that don't know me, which is mostly everyone because no one really watches my videos, which is fine. My name is Taylor. I'm 43-year-old, married, newly married. I'm in sobriety in my 40s. I started getting sober a little bit before my 40s. I have 2 blood children, 2 stepchildren, and I own my own business called Ms. Miyagi Waxing Studio, where I just wax all day long. A big part of my life is my sobriety, because if I didn't have that or my health, I would not have nothing. And so while I want my channel to be, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, but like really want it to be about like starting over in your 40s, beauty, sobriety, relationships, motherhood, like all of the things that are important to me. And so today I'm getting ready, like I said, to go to my son's graduation, and this is my youngest son, blood son. I have a stepson who's 16. And let's see, him and his brother moved in with their dad. We got divorced when they were like, he was probably like 4 or 5, and his brother would be about 7 or 8. And I had them for a while at first, and then things got really hard for me. I was always a drinker, but I started drinking a lot. I was like, oh, my life isn't what I thought it was gonna be. I'm divorced now. And then I had a big event happen with my dad, who helped me take care of my boys. And so I was like, I can't do this right now. Biggest mistake, choice, whatever you want to call it, that I probably made in my life was like, they can go live with their dad for a little while, I'll get back on my feet, I'll get things situated, and then they'll come back. Well, that never happened. They never came back. And that was, gosh, 15 years ago now, maybe. And so during the time that they were gone, I didn't get better. My life actually got a ton worse. I just drastically went downhill. I went out on medical leave, on disability. I started drinking a lot, partying a lot because, you know, I had my kids young, and well, I do, you know, I love to have excuses and say I didn't get to live my youth, but I did. I just, I guess, wasn't done. And so I started partying a lot. I dabbled with like drugs, like when I was married and younger and stuff, like different things I would take that go well with alcohol, if you know what I mean. You know, like a party situation. But never was like addicted to drugs until later in life. But drinking has always kind of been a thing. And so I started partying a lot. I started just kind of losing it. And at this point, I had owned my own home. I did really well for myself with work and things. I was functioning for a while until I wasn't. I ended up quitting my job on disability and taking out my 401k, which I had a fair amount, and having a good time. Meanwhile, I'd see my kids on the weekends, long weekends. If there was long weekends, they'd come stay with me for the summer. I was like the part-time mom, and I was okay with that then because I had other priorities, and I can say that now. Like, whoever watches this, like, you can have an opinion and you can say whatever you want to me. That I guarantee you, I've said worse to myself. There's nothing that could faze me at this point. I've said it all. I've relived it all. The only reason why I'm sharing this today is in hopes that if somebody's watching this that might be at the stage that I was at and can see this and be like, I don't want to get there. I don't want that to happen to me. So I met a couple of guys. I started dating. I got into a pretty serious relationship right away, a couple of them. I was like dating 2 guys for the most part. Neither of them knew about the other one for a while until they did, and that was not good either, but that's a whole other story. I really just kind of want to focus on like, because I'm going to see my son, like that whole situation. And so I quickly started using heavier drugs, and it took me out pretty fast. I started using opiates, H and F, and benzos, and my life quickly spiraled out of control to where I was seeing my kids less and less. I was really sick all the time. I went from seeing them, you know, on weekends and summers and holidays to maybe once a month. And while I knew like it wasn't good, I was, you know, not in my right mind, so I wasn't thinking about it too much. And I I did that for a few years until I decided no more. And that happened in 2016. So, you know, they had been gone for a while, and I wasn't seeing them very often. I would call, I would show up sometimes. I would break a lot of promises, plans, things like that. And then in 2016, you know, after multiple ODs and life, I decided I was done. And this is leaving out a lot, obviously. I decided I was done and that I needed help, and so I moved to where I live now, which is in Northern California, and I lived in Southern California before. And I came to rehab here. I had it in my head that I was gonna go back home after I was done. But in reality, you know, so I did 30 days at the rehab, and I felt like a new woman, you know. I was like, oh, I'm good, I've got this, I'm gonna go home. And my brother, who lives here, was like, no, I think you should stay. There's nothing good for you to go back to. The night before I left for detox, which I went to before rehab, like, I almost died in the hands of my ex-boyfriend. He ended up going to jail that night. There was like a standoff with the police and SWAT, and so it was just not a good environment for me to come back to. And so I ended up staying, which was a hard choice for me to make because my kids are in Southern California. Meanwhile, they had no idea like what's going on. They don't know that I was in rehab. The fact that I didn't show up in 30 days wasn't that big of a deal. I would call them and stuff, but they didn't really know what was going on. So I did tell them that I was going to move to Chico, and that I talked to their dad about it, and you know, it was the best decision to make. And so we drove to Southern California in a U-Haul, or in my brother's truck actually. We got a U-Haul, and then we packed up my house in the middle of the night and left. And on the way back, we stopped in LA and picked up my boys and took them home up to Northern California, where we had Thanksgiving. And it was the best Thanksgiving I've ever had. It just was awesome. I was sober. I was like just so grateful. My mom had come to celebrate and see me and help move, and it was just a really good time. I'm so grateful. And so after that, you know, they went back, of course, to LA. And then my oldest son decided he wanted to come live with me. And I thought that was a good idea. It wasn't. I wasn't ready. He was 13 at the time. He was very obstinate. He didn't look at me as his mom. I wasn't around. Why would he? I know that now, but then I'm like, I'm your mom, you know, and he didn't want to listen. I was a cool mom, but like, I wanted him to clean his room. I wanted him to pick up after himself, simple things that he did not want to do. And it ended up It ended up going south really quick, and that's just another story for another day. But he ended up back in LA, and I didn't talk to him for like a year. Meanwhile, I still talk to my other son, my younger son, and we've always just had a good relationship. He's always just loved me and forgiven me and just undeserving of everything he's given me. While my older son, we are not talking right now. We've gone back and forth. We didn't talk for a year then. Then he came back to live with me because he wasn't doing good at his dad's. So he came back to live with me. Lived with me for like a year, and then was like, I think he moved out. He had a girlfriend. He moved out. That didn't last very long. Then he moved back in. Then I, got into a relationship. This was me 3 years sober at this point. I knew I wanted to stay single for the first year of my sobriety and really give it to myself and my son, and who was with me at the time. And like, he hated that I got a boyfriend, and maybe looking back on it, I should have waited. Even though it had been 3 years, like, it did cause a rift between us, and now I'm married to that man, by the way. When I was his age, I had him. He was a year old already, and he was like my saving grace at the time. But I say all of this to say, being sober is hard. It's not, at this point, it's not the not drinking and not drugging. That part I can deal with, but like all the feelings that I have that come up because of my past, the mom shame, the guilt, the I wish I would have done it different, like all of that is the most painful, excruciating feeling I've ever felt. Like a stab to the heart and to the gut. And it is not for the weak. And so if you're going through something like this, where you maybe are young mom, you're not sure what you're doing in life, like, put your kids first, change, because it doesn't get easier, it only gets harder, and it's just such a shitty feeling. I'm so lucky, that I get to go to my son's graduation. I get to be a part of it. I get to, me and his dad are on good terms. He invited me, like, everything is good today. And it's because I got sober. And it's because not only did I get sober, but I have done the hard work that goes along with being sober. Which is like, why did I drink in the first place? Why did I use in the first place? What's going on with me? What tools can I have now in place in case I do want to drink or I do want to use, which thankfully I don't really have those feelings anymore. But I have what's called emotional sobriety today, where I don't want to act out. I don't want to be violent. I don't want to be angry. I don't want my addiction to manifest in other ways, which is happening, like with shopping and money and food and Netflix. And, I have to take a control over that. And like, I am so grateful that I am conscious of all of that today and have a program in place with a higher power and women who love me for just who I am. And a husband that's in recovery who loves me for just who I am, and children, my stepchildren are the lights of my life, my children are the loves of my life, and so it's a big deal that we're going to graduation. and I'm taking it with me. So buckle up, because it's gonna be a wild ride. Okay, bye. I am running late. I might miss my flight. That's wonderful. I thought my flight was at 6:30, but it's at 6:15, so we'll see what happens. Oh my god, we made it. We're in. So I landed in LA, my bag made it on the flight. I barely made my flight. That has never happened to me before. So I'm renting a car from Turo. And so it has really good directions on how to get to the car. So I'm looking for a hotel and parking private shuttle, which I think I see it.
The guy clarified it. He said, yes, pick up Toro North Lobby.
Okay, that must be the north elevator.
Yeah, North Elevator. And so that's what she read says the same thing.
Okay, so I'm supposed to follow these signs. Guest lobby this way. It's kind of sketchy, at least it's not super late. Guest lobby. Now I gotta scan this. Okay, here I am. It says, and we're going to level 4. So here's the car. I should have downloaded the app before I got here, so I'm not standing in the dark parking lot by myself. Anyways, I'm downloading the app and I should be able to get in. Okay, y'all, I am tired. It's after 9. It's usually my bedtime. I need something to drink and a snack, so I'm about 25 minutes away from my destination, and I think I've got the car kind of figured out. It's definitely different driving it. I don't know if I was like being adventurous getting the Tesla or stupid, but it's fine. It's smooth. We're safe. We're almost there. Thank goodness. I made it. I'm here. I'm tired. It was a long day. I'm in my niece's room. So cute. I forgot my son's graduation lei at home, so I'm trying to find someone who will make it for me here. But I'm just glad to be here. I'm so tired. Happy to go to bed. See you tomorrow. Bye. Oh my god, I can't stop yawning. I'm gonna do an online meeting, because then I can just chill and not have to get up quite yet. I'm just so tired. I have this app that helps you find online meetings. The Zoo Crew. Oh my god, it's gonna record me with my 8-year-old niece's Labubu's behind me. They're gonna think, what the heck?
Hey, Jess, what color is that? Trying for months to reply to that day.
See you in a bit.
You know what? I'm down.
I'm getting ready for the day. Some caramel flavored rice Krispies. 10 grams of whole grains per serving. They're so good. So I finished my Zoom meeting online. I'm gonna get ready. I'm meeting my friend from 100 years ago for lunch. When I'm down here, I try to meet up with him. And then my niece gets off work at 2. We're gonna head out around 3, stopping at the Lay, and head on up. I'm gonna watch a YouTube video. My niece has like the perfect setup. So I'm gonna get ready. I'm kind of nervous. I shared in the meeting that I'm nervous about the graduation. I'm nervous about seeing my ex. I'm nervous about seeing my ex-mother-in-law. Which is weird. Like, I've known them for more than half my life, so I just, I'm such a different person now than I was back then, and I know he is too. My mother-in-law's not. But it's gonna be super emotional. I'm just looking forward to it a lot. Let's get ready. Watching these YouTube videos of people get arrested or shoplift or whatever, and this chick was arrested gave a fake name, gave a fake ID, then she ran from the cops. They caught her, took her in, and they fingerprinted her. She has 10 aliases, and they let her go with a court date. How much do we bet that she doesn't show up? I don't understand. What are you doing? I didn't do anything wrong. Emily. She's out of control. You guys, I'm an attorney. I didn't do anything wrong. Problem.
Disorderly conduct.
I need a new eyeliner. This isn't working. It like literally will not. It'll draw on my hand all day long, but when I go to draw it on my eye.
Babies have been alone since 8:50 until 11.
Going to see my friends for some lunch. I, of course, had to make a stop at the Ulta to get a couple things, and then I got my son this yummy cologne for graduation. Smells Ceylon. My stepson has it, and oh, it's amazing. If you need a gift for the man in your life, recommend. I got some other stuff too. I'll show you later. Getting some lunchy lunch.
Okay.
So we're about an hour from takeoff to leave to go get the lei to then go get the boy to graduate. And I'm super excited. I am charging the vehicle. I asked this nice Asian dude next to me, I said, can you help me? And he looked at me like I was crazy, because literally it's just like plugging it in. Like, it's super easy. So we're doing that. Oh, I can show what I got at Ulta while we wait. Oh man, it all fell out. Okay, I got this Kapari SPF spray stuff. I've had this before. I got the new Ordinary Sun Care because I like Ordinary products. As an esthetician, I think, you know, they're well priced. The ingredients are good, so got that. So there we go, blurry. I got this for my niece. I always like to get her something when I come. Like, thank you for letting me stay in your room. This Daisy Pineapple Whip. Probably smells delicious. I got this NYX brow glue and clear lip plumper, or I don't even know if it's a lip. It's a butter gloss, because if you know me, you know I can never have enough glosses. Okay, then I got this Urban Decay All-Nighter Hyaluronic Acid Watermelon Fruit Extract makeup spray, because I'm all out of mine. I've been using my one from the dollar store, which is fine. But then I got this for my son as part of his graduation gift. I got a new eyeliner because, you know, couldn't get mine to work. I got this color too, if you want to try that. And then I also got this to go with this for my niece. She's 8. I don't know, when I was 8, I still wanted Barbies, but that's fine. So good little haul. Love me some Ulta. I cannot control myself when I go in there. But you know what was absolutely amazing is, you know what was absolutely amazing? I had $160 in points. Yeah, I know, me too. I was like, floored. It pays to be a platinum member, baby. So, okay, I have 8 more minutes to charge, and then I'm going to get my nieces. Okay, see you there. Bye. We're here. Took us a few hours. I got secured delay. We had to park really far away. We're almost there. It's the final countdown. We're back from the graduation. It was so awesome. Had such a good time. I'm gonna put in video and pictures at the end to kind of like take the video out. So anyways, it was wonderful. I get to see my son tomorrow. Both my boys, actually. My older one was also there and said he would like to hang out with me too, so that's cool. So I have one more day here, and then I go home on Saturday, and I miss my husband so much, but I'm so happy to be here. And it was great. I cried. It was awesome.